After the ICE agent shot Renee Nicole Good in the face, he called her a fucking bitch. There are a lot of angles to talk about this story from, but for this video, I want to focus on the aspect of her being a white woman. And if you are white, and if you're a white woman, and you're surprised that they did this, you haven't been paying attention to the right wing. You notice how personal this seems? Shooting someone in the face is very personal. Calling a woman you don't know after you just executed her a fucking bitch is very personal. Walking around her vigil and kicking the candles over to humiliate her in her death, that's very personal. And that is because in white supremacy, in this system, these men think that they own white women. And don't get me wrong, they're misogynistic creeps to women of all races, but there is a special kind of hate that they reserve for white women because as their owners, they feel a special sense of betrayal. I've seen a lot of cis men in comment sections being like, well, if she had been at home with her kids, this might not have happened. Before you try to just write that off as, oh, well, that's the internet. Go watch what Jesse Waters said about this woman last night. Go look at what Tim Pool is saying about this woman. I've been talking about this for a couple years now, but they hate white liberal women. That's why this is not a surprise. Did people already forget about Heather Heyer, the woman that was run over during the white supremacist rally in 2017? If you spend any time on online right-wing Twitter or right-wing Reddit or anything, they made so much fun of that woman. Calling her names, calling her fat, calling her ugly, saying she deserved it, making jokes about it. But people don't pay attention to it because it's mostly online, although they're definitely more emboldened to say this kind of shit out loud and on TV now. But they still mostly do that shit behind a screen, okay? I've tried to explain this to people before when people would be like, well, white men don't catcall the way that Latino men would catcall me or black men would catcall me. And I would try to explain to those people I would argue with that that's because white men reserve all of their most disgusting things that they're gonna say to you behind a screen. It's like trying to explain to people that white men have been so much more violently misogynistic toward me since I cut my hair. Like, they get so angry about my haircut. And they've told me they think that I shouldn't be allowed to have not feminine hair. One time I posted, I love contributing to the declining white birth rate by not having kids, and whew, the threats I got. We've all seen how they'll lose their mind over a woman having a septum ring. Let's go to any right-winger social media, any of them, Tommy Lauren, Tim Pool, and put in white liberal women and see what comes up. White women are the most dangerous thing to Western civilization. White liberal women specifically. And if you're on the left and you're only used to hearing white women talked about in the context of like white women being problematic, then you probably wouldn't know that the right wing has co-opted the Karen meme to mean any woman who stands up to authority or doesn't stay in the home. As if you bitches cosplaying the 1950s are even providing her the option to not have to work. These people are calling her a Karen for standing up for her immigrant neighbors' human rights. Where some of that rage is coming from is A, because of generalized misogyny. Men are violent toward women in general, regardless of their race. And yes, I'm speaking in generalized terms. Please do not all men this. They have a particular seething hatred for white liberal women because they feel that that's their property that they own. And a white woman who's a liberal went to college, maybe chose not to have kids, maybe is queer, maybe chose not to get married, or maybe she married a non-white man. Those men feel like their birthright has been taken away from them. Even putting aside the very violent, sexualized, anti-LGBTQ plus kind of like memes that they make that I wouldn't be able to show here anyway, I'll show you a mild one that's been pretty popular in right-wing circles well before this happened. The biggest threat to Western civilization, which is their dog whistle for white dominance, is liberal white women with college degrees. Saw this a lot yesterday. And they make clear what some of it is about. They're angry that a lot of white women who are college educated vote Democrat now. Some people get confused about that because they'll be like, wait, white women overall vote Republican. Yes, that's true. But there are 100 million white women in this country, bro. And when we're talking about white women, the ones that vote for Republicans tend to be older and non-college educated. The base of the Democratic Party has been shifting over the last 4 election cycles. College educated white women have shifted further toward Democrats. They backed Harris by roughly 17 points, 58 to 41. This group has been trending Democrats since 2016, expanding their margins from 7 for Clinton, 9 for Biden, and then 17 for Harris. Young white women and those identifying as liberal overwhelmingly supported Harris. So these men hate them because of that. But also this. They represent a growing segment. College-educated voters, disproportionately women, now make up a larger share of the Democratic coalition. The report notes that this has transformed the party, pushing it on issues like reproductive rights, LGBTQ plus equality, and progressive social policies. And again, if you pay any attention to the right wing, you will see that that's true, because they constantly accuse liberal white women of pushing an open borders agenda, of being man haters, of pushing the queer agenda. And when it comes to immigrants' rights, they say, oh, they have suicidal empathy. You've been hearing that one a lot lately. It's been used a lot more recently to discredit and attack white women who support the Palestinians, but they'll use it on any immigrant population. And before I could even finish making this video, I saw that the older millennial, a man who I would never leave another woman alone with, was doing exactly that. Demonizing Renee Good in her death and lying and smearing her wife. This is white supremacist male rage. It's lashing out, it's humiliation, it's punishment, and they're also sending a message to other white women. Are you sure you want to stand on the side of justice and trying to protect marginalized groups? Because if you women want to be traitors, don't think that your skin color is going to protect you either.